At BMW, we believe the best way to predict the future is to create it. We created the thrilling future of performance. We created the exciting future of mobility. And now, we're creating the magnificent future of luxury. Come and see tomorrow today. Visit the BMW Pavilion at the Auto Expo.
Hi Hetal, so it's the last day of the art fair. What has the response been like?
So I think a lot of people naturally gravitate to the kind of work we show, to the feel of the booth, which is very quiet, and they see a lot of geometry and lines, and then people who are attracted to minimal work will just kind of come in and then start an inquiry of who the artists are. So I think we've had some good conversations. So the way people enter the work, they either get attracted to, say, for example, Mariam's works, which is behind us, which is from a collection of honest mistakes, and there's a piece of text in one of the works that says four diagrams stolen using the wrong pencil. So you'll have an average person who kind of understands circuit drawings or architectural drawings. They will kind of get attracted to this, and then that's where the conversation begins, like what is the series of occurrences that led to this kind of work, and a very interesting set of questions come, and a lot of people get it, and then they leave sort of humored by the work, and they understand that Mariam is somebody who sort of documents this every day and uses gaps and research and archiving to then explain the process, to show the unpredictability of situations or oversights and the other everyday conversations and incidents, and that's how so people are kind of understanding why she has, so we have I think is one of the works that has probably provoked the maximum amount of discussion.
That's wonderful.
Including, of course, Lala's work also, which is on the other side of the booth, where people wonder, like, are these, what is the work? Are they drawings? Because they have this very graphite look. And then that's when we start the introduction about how Lala is one of the foremost minimalists, and these are photographic works done 20 years ago in Sri Lanka, and then these are from a lot of her time spent documenting observation of the sea and the water on the sand, and this is one of those works. And from that came a lot of the body of work afterwards, which were drawings and a lot of other series. So it became great conversation points for us to educate people about Lala's work, who is one of the contemporary of artists like Nasreen Mohammadi. Is very, very important for Pakistan. In the last 20 years, a generation of artists that have come out of Lahore have studied under her, and she's a feminist activist, has fantastic history, so it's been so a lot of discussions have come out of these little points, and all people have different levels of curiosity, and then we unfold the layers depending on how curious they are. Of course, people who invest in work and very carefully look at periods and artists and South Asian representation, and who are very happy to discover Lala's work or finally able to see it. And it's Lala's big year; they're going to see a lot of her work, and so we're really happy to bring this little preview, to the booth. And to my left is Fahad Barki. Is a young is relative, people have been reacting to that word. He's a 36-year-old artist from Lahore, and his work is a combination of symbols, iconography, going from figurative to non-representational styles, where there is use of he's a painter, and there's a lot of geometric lines, symmetry in the work, sometimes very basic compositions, a lot of white space. So
very clean.
Very extremely clean and precise, and that is his practice. It's been so since we started the gallery. Is one like Lala Fahad was one of the artists that were part of our program since we started the gallery. So both of them are very extremely close to our hearts, and of course we're really proud of all the artists that we've brought to the fair. And these works are the work at the canvas in the far end is a work that's called Wonder. So some of the works will have titles, some of them will remain untitled, which also arouse a different set of questions, which has been really great. Right from the little child to
it engages everyone.
I think it engages everyone. So it's really about who gets drawn to it, and then and outside our booth we've brought Lan Tian Si. We call him Lee. Lee is the youngest artist in our program. Age-wise, one of the younger artists in our program. He lives in Dubai. He's of Chinese origin, and Lee again, his work. He creates these stories and brings the context of sometimes where he's from and where he lives, and temporary spaces and movement in these spaces and people. And so the work that's outside is called Notice, and then they're literally notices that are found in like urban cities, in buildings where that are like, it's kind of warning signs. They have this very sort of sometimes a very harsh negative overtone, but they're also funny in their way as to how silly it might seem sometimes. And
so he's referenced that.
Yeah, he's referenced that, and it is part of kind of where he lives. He's in transition, maybe from one home to the other. He lives in a current building. Tomorrow he may not have that home, and it's kind of like giving you a little insight about, say, Dubai, for example, which he calls home. So all of these artists are really doing. Lee's in the Shanghai Biennale, is in the Kochi Biennale as we speak. He's going to be representing the United Arab Emirates with three other artists in the Venice Biennale. So people will be seeing Lee's work, and Fahad is at the Guangzhou Biennale, and he's going to be in the Gothenburg Biennale coming forward. So really fantastic things. The artists are doing really, really well, and people are going to see their work, and of course we've been traveling with their work in different parts of the world through our fair participations and through their own museum and exhibitions. So that's a little summary of what we've brought, and
thank you, and being the last day and also it being a Sunday, so it's going to get really busy. It already is, and we wish you all the best.
I was a little scared because I know Sundays are like that, but it's actually we've had some fantastic questions, so it's been exciting. We're still on our toes, and there's energy left.
Great.
Yeah, so
Thank
far.
you.
Thank you, pleasure.